can take a lot from that. I hope he wins. I hope Alex wins.
То же самое не нужно словами бросаться. Мы ожидаем что-то октября будет. Давайте сделаем это в ринге. Зачем говорить пустые слова?
Ele falou, cara, na verdade a gente vai lutar no dia 4 de outubro, a gente não tem que trocar palavras mais.
Eu não falei nada, ele sempre falou. Eu nunca falei nada, ele sempre falou. E agora quando chegou frente a frente, é um cuzão.
Ankalaev is just so f***ing good. I think a couple things. I think Alex has a great chance of beating him in the rematch. I think Alex goes too hard. I mean, how many title defenses did he have? Like going up and down weight classes.
It's like you have to respect Alex Pereira's power, but you also have to be able to willing to get in there and trade, and that's what Ankalaev did. He cracked him good a few times. He almost dropped him at the end of the second, I believe.
Alex Pereira wrestles for 2 years straight. Nothing else, just wrestle. Alex Pereira, Olympic champion.
How someone striking guy come to the wrestling and 2 years be Olympic champion? For 1 minute.
The UFC is no stranger to rivalries, but every once in a while a matchup comes along that feels bigger than the cage itself. That's exactly what's happening with Alex Pereira and Magomed Ankalaev. Their rematch has turned into one of the most heated storylines of the year, and UFC experts say this fight is about far more than just a win or loss.
So I do think Alex has the tools to pull this off. And for the sport and for the longevity of the UFC and for this new Paramount deal, you want Alex to win. And listen, I don't need a guy tweeting and doing all this shit talking and all that stuff. It's just Magomed's style, even though he's looked upon as a grappler, but there's just some disconnect there with the fan base and with the media where Magomed's not a bigger star. I do think we see a very different fight from Alex being healthy, having the tape study of the first fight. Even though he's injured, he can take a lot from that.
What makes this rematch so explosive is that both men are not only dangerous inside the octagon, but they've also been firing shots outside of it. UFC 313 ended in controversy, with Ankalaev taking the win by unanimous decision, but the aftermath left fans debating non-stop. Now, with UFC 320 around the corner, the drama has reached a boiling point.
I don't understand. I understand.
Ты хотел меня видеть? Вот я здесь, I'm here.
Ó, ele acha que a gente tava tipo, funcionando o professor dele, tá ligado? Ele tá sentou aqui, agora ele falou.
Не зачем там спрятаться?
Acha que ele tá falando. Ele entende inglês, não? O treinador entende inglês? Se alguém fala inglês... Falou, já paga o time de problemas, vão se resolver.
Magomed Ankalaev has been clear about what he thinks went wrong the first time. He believes Pereira had an unfair advantage that night. Ankalaev insists that while trying to grapple, Pereira felt too slippery. In his view, this wasn't just sweat. It felt like greasing, making it harder for Ankalaev to grab hold and control the fight. Ankalaev explained that he knew something was off immediately. He said he told his coach right there during the fight that Pereira felt greased up. For him, that wasn't just paranoia. He trains daily, spars with countless fighters, and knows when someone feels unusually slick.
The takedowns and the wrestling game weren't necessarily working in the first fight. Would you say that your wrestling was off, or was his takedown defense better than you expected?
To be honest with you, I went through a lot when I was fighting for the title. That training camp was terrible. I couldn't wrestle for the most part of the training camp. I was battling a lot of injuries, and there was a lot of reasons, you know. Also, I told my coach right away during the rounds that that I felt like he was greased. He was just too slippery, you know? And these things happen in professional sport. I'm not accusing him of anything, but that's just what I felt. I spar every day, I train every day. You could feel when people are slippery. It's too much slippery. So I felt he was too greasy.
The Russian contender also revealed that his preparation for UFC 313 was far from perfect. His training camp was filled with setbacks. He struggled with injuries and admitted that he couldn't wrestle for much of the camp. Entering the fight already compromised physically, and then feeling like Pereira had added an extra layer of difficulty, made the night one of the toughest of his career. But Alex Pereira doesn't see it that way at all. In fact, he turned the narrative completely around. The Brazilian knockout artist claimed that the version of him fans saw at UFC 313 wasn't even close to his best. By his estimate, he was fighting at only 40% that night. He didn't feel like himself, his preparation wasn't ideal, and he knew it during the fight.
Honestly, I was about 40% on that fight, on that night. Wow. And obviously, it's going to be much more this time. But if I'm only 50%, that 10% is going to make such a great difference. They're going to leave no doubt for everybody.
I'm curious to know, are you okay with the Adesanya rivalry being over? It was a great rivalry, or is there anything unfinished in there?
No, absolutely. No problem from my side. I'm happy the way that it is now. It's even better work atmosphere, but that rivalry was good for the sport, was good for us, made us both grow. You know what I mean? We already had contacts, almost like friends. Like we talk. We talked one time in Australia, like things like that. So we're good.
Now Pereira is making a promise. This rematch will show everyone the real Poatan. Even if he's only at 50% this time, he believes the difference will be night and day. That extra 10%, according to him, will erase all doubts and leave no questions in anyone's mind about who the better fighter truly is.
Absolutely, have no doubt. I'm very well prepared. I trained really good, so I feel really good for this fight.
Pereira has also questioned Ankalaev's actual skills. He pointed out that the Russian is supposed to be the dominant grappler, the one who drags opponents into his world. Yet Pereira argues the first fight showed that Ankalaev isn't as great as many believed. Pereira, a striker by nature, held his own and even exposed flaws in Ankalaev's game.
Nah, man, for me, no problem. I'm cool, you know what I mean? And I think he don't like because I was able to prove that he's not that good. You know what I mean? Suppose I'm a striker, he's a grappler, he's supposed to be taking me down, but I was able to show to everybody that he's not that great, you know.
Was it hard to get over that title loss against him in March of this year? I know the competitor in you, I'm interested how difficult that is for you.
No, it was, of course. How can I put this thing? Deal with that is not cool, but honestly, man, like if I put together everything that was going on with me, and I'm not gonna say it right now, it makes me even happy that I was able to do the fight that I did under everything that was going on with me. I'm not trying to talk over there, anything like that. Of course, I'm not happy.
As if that wasn't enough, Pereira countered Ankalaev's accusations with some bold claims of his own. He suggested that these greasing comments don't even come directly from Ankalaev. Instead, he believes someone else is writing and posting these statements online on Ankalaev's behalf, trying to create headlines. In person, Pereira says, the Russian doesn't show the same energy. For Pereira, this proves that the accusations are more about stirring drama than facing reality.
I don't think he ever did a good job doing that. Let's put together, for an example, my rivalry with Adesanya. There was a lot of back and forth talk, but we talk about things that happened, things of our history that happened in the past.
Right.
Ankalaev he don't have nothing to say, so he have to make the stuff up. Yeah. He have to make shit up, and then just to be relevant, for an example, like they go and lie that he ran for the fight, that he did this, that he don't want to fight, so they gotta make it up. Him and Adesanya, for an example, was genuine. They were back and forth trash talking to each other about things that happened in the past that really happened.
Despite the back and forth, Pereira insists he doesn't like conflict outside the cage. He has a history of being friendly with opponents once the fight is over, sometimes even training with them afterward. He claims he tried to take the same approach with Ankalaev, but things have become bitter. Pereira dismissed the talk that he ever avoided Ankalaev, saying it was the UFC's decision to delay the fight, not his own reluctance.
He said that he doesn't respect you anymore after these things. He did before, he doesn't now. How do you feel about him on a personal level leading into the rematch?
I try to avoid conflict with my opponents. I even become friendly with them afterwards. You've seen this before. I've even talked about training with past opponents. So I don't really know what it is. You know, I think that he used to say a lot that I was running away from him, that I didn't want to fight him. That's never happened. We all know the UFC didn't want to promote that fight. So that's never what it was. But I have no problem with him, and you know, I always try to be friendly and avoid conflict.
And still, watching their first clash back hasn't been easy for him. He admits it's frustrating to see himself fighting below his potential, but at the same time he believes it's motivating. He feels stronger, sharper, and better prepared now. In his mind, UFC 320 is the stage to show growth and deliver a performance that leaves no doubt. For Ankalaev, the motivation is equally strong. He wants to prove that with a healthy training camp and a level playing field, his grappling and overall skill set can control Pereira. For him, this fight isn't just about winning again, it's about shutting down excuses once and for all. He knows fans are questioning whether his first win was convincing enough. UFC 320 is his chance to silence those questions.
Ankalaev is just so fucking good. I think a couple things. I think Alex has a great chance of beating him in the rematch. I think Alex goes too hard. I mean, how many title defenses did he have? Going up and down weight classes. Where Ankalaev rides the bench for a certain amount of time. Being that active and none of that being a superstar. No one knows who Ankalaev is. Ankalaev walks down the street, no one knows who that guy is. Alex is a superstar. He can't leave his house without someone saying, "Oh, there's Alex, should we take a picture?" It kind of takes a toll on the mind. Where, you take Ankalaev, who just lives in a fucking cave somewhere. I don't even know where that guy's from, but dude, he probably lives in a cave somewhere and just, he doesn't have to deal with the same pressures of being famous as you do in the U.S.
Experts breaking down this matchup say the stakes couldn't be higher. On one side stands Pereira, a man who can end the fight in a heartbeat with his striking power. On the other side is Ankalaev, a patient technician whose grappling can wear down even the toughest opponents. The clash of styles is classic striker versus grappler, but the added tension makes it unpredictable.
Ankalaev throws those beautiful shots to the body. He's landed some beautiful shots to the body. Some twos to the old tits. You have to respect Ankalaev's power, but you also have to be able to willing to get in there and trade, and that's what Ankalaev did. He cracked him good a few times. He almost dropped him at the end of the second, I believe. Then Pereira had a better third, and that was a close fight. I'm kind of leaning towards Ankalaev, but it's hard. Again, it's hard to count someone out, knock someone out with one punch. So I'm gonna go with Ankalaev. Who you got, man?
I'm gonna go Pereira.
All right, for sure.
The split among fans has made the build-up even more intense. Pereira's supporters believe his claim that he wasn't himself in March. They're convinced that a healthier, sharper Pereira will prove unstoppable. Ankalaev's backers, however, argue that he already showed superiority once. To them, with better preparation and without what he believes was greasing, Ankalaev will dominate clearly this time.
Yeah, both guys, they are very experienced. They both are strikers, right? Ankalaev is a striker too. And both have a lot of experience, right? But I believe Ankalaev very smart, right? And he take his time. He never rush, and he build his winning by step, But I believe that if Pereira put a little bit more, be a little bit more aggressive, because Pereira also he doesn't come rushing people. I think the difference in that fight, who's gonna have more advantage, who take more risk, a little bit more risk. Both guys are very safe. They are deadly, but they're both very safe. And if you both keep safe, he's gonna go for the points again. I believe a title shot, you need to show that you're the champ. You need to finish the opponent, because there's the ultimate reason.
What's undeniable is that this rematch has grown beyond just a title eliminator or ranking fight. It has become personal. Both men want to walk away with more than a win. They want validation. They want to silence the narrative that surrounded UFC 313. And they both want to leave no room for excuses when UFC 320 is over.
I'm not of the nature that everybody seems to think Ankalaev is just going to go in there and beat him easier and even faster than he did last time. Pereira did give him some things to worry about. He had his respect early on, and of course that respect started to fade later into the fight, but not fully, because if it did, Ankalaev probably would have pushed on the gas a little bit harder and looked for the finish. Pereira might not be the fighter that Ankalaev is in mixed martial arts, but when it comes to striking, he still is one of the highest level guys in the UFC. He obviously came in the first time with limited weapons, mostly sitting around all night looking for the lead hook. He was also trying to beat the calf up, but Ankalaev did a pretty good job at noticing that, and then as the fight went on, he made that less and less effective. If Pereira doesn't start mixing it up, and instead of waiting for counter strikes, start to bring the offense himself.
Pereira has framed this as his redemption. He says his strength, conditioning, and mental preparation are on a whole new level. Ankalaev, on the other hand, views it as a chance to prove he can win under fair and equal conditions. Both are chasing clarity, and only one will get it. When the octagon door closes, the storylines, the interviews, and the accusations will no longer matter. What will matter is who can impose their style. Can Pereira's devastating power find its target and shut down Ankalaev? Or will the Russian's grappling smother Pereira and expose weaknesses again?
Let's remember, we all know Magomed won the first one. If Pereira wins the second one, well, of course you do a rubber match. You settle it once and for all. There could be a little bit of truth to that statement. Pereira goes out there and smokes him. If he was to do that, then yeah, maybe there wouldn't be a third match.
UFC experts agree, no matter the outcome, this fight will define both men's legacies in the division. Pereira has the chance to erase doubts and position himself as one of the most dangerous forces at light heavyweight. Ankalaev has the opportunity to cement his reputation as a grappler who can neutralize even the most lethal strikers.
Who is an absolute monster? This guy is a monster. He's 33 years old, absolute prime. 20 wins with 1 loss, he's a big guy.
And with the added layer of personal drama, this isn't just another rematch, it's a collision of pride, skill, and determination. UFC 320 will be remembered not only for who wins, but for how the victor proves their point.
Alex Pereira wrestles for 2 years straight. Nothing else, just wrestle. Alex Pereira, Olympic champion.
How would someone striking guy come to the wrestling in 2 years beat Olympic champion? How? For 1 minute, Saadulaev sent 10-0.
Then why has nobody done this to him in MMA?
Put him on Ankalaev.
As fight night approaches, anticipation is sky high. Fans around the world are waiting to see which story holds true. Was Pereira really only 40% last time? Or was Ankalaev's claim about greasing the real issue? Soon all the talk will end and the cage will reveal the truth.
10 segundos.
One thing is certain, this rematch is not just a fight, it's a statement, a battle for respect, and a moment that could shape the future of the light heavyweight division. And when it's over, the excuses will be gone, the narratives will be settled, and only one man will stand tall with no questions left to answer. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video, drop your predictions in the comments, share it with other fight fans, and don't forget to subscribe to Ring Rivalry for more exclusive fight stories and expert breakdowns.